This video is going to be a call to arts instead of arms. I don't like violence at all, and I don't think wars really need to be won with violence, and it seems like our enemy doesn't either. By attacking our economy, attacking our information sources from the inside out, these people have no regard for we the people, who are the strongest force on the planet, 7 billion strong, whereas about 7,000 people with a lot of money and supposed power, imaginary power, seek to control us and do us all a lot of harm in the long run after they've taken all our money and freedoms away. And that's what it seems like happening, and a lot of it seems like it is a communist plot, and there's no room for communism in a world where individual freedoms are respected and creativity is appreciated. And I believe that we the people everywhere are united and will be united against those oppressors, and our oppressors are becoming very obvious. So I wanted to show you a collection of old propaganda pictures. Beware of artists, they mix with all classes of society and are therefore the most dangerous. And this is from McCarthy, who was claiming all kinds of red scares and that the government was being invaded and infested by communists, and he was right. And the artists were on their side, were on the communist side, and they shouldn't be. I certainly am not. I am with the people. I will always be with the people. So here's a bunch of anti-communist art that I was able to find throughout time, and I hope it inspires artists out there today to try and make some art that works, make some art that serves as a weapon to wake the people up. Doesn't have to harm anyone, doesn't have to be mean or anything. It can be, but certain images can go a long way, and when they're spread and they're used properly, they get the message across to the people by the millions. Art has that power and the ability to do that, and it has in the past. There are many. This saying was pretty common when during the height of the communism scare, and McCarthy and all these other people tried to warn us that our government was being invaded, infested by it, and everywhere from our schools, our education, our medical, our government, our military, really everywhere. The infestation is now becoming very clear, as the media is a complete spokesperson for communist China. And a lot of these artworks are from the 1940s, 30s, and around that time when this was a popular thing to be anti-communist. And then it kind of dropped off as our presidents became communist and the governments just really started aiding all these other communist places instead of trying to rid the world of it. It seems like we at one point wanted to rid the world of it and free people everywhere so that they could have their freedoms and escape this deception. But then it just kind of withered away, and I wondered if that's because of just the control within our government and country just became too much, where they were just, they controlled the art. They changed the art from actually meaningful, really talent-filled artwork to abstract kind of just splotches of paint and minimalist, meaningless nonsense. Instead of meaningful art like this was art used. There was pro-communist art, there was anti-communist art. It was used all over the place. Put up flyers in cities, people see it as they're walking around. You put it anywhere. Now you can post it on social media. The government should almost have an art campaign where they speak the truth and speak of messages that are really important. And real power behind communism really probably is Satanism. They seem to be very linked. All the Hollywood communists, all these people that want to tell you to give your money away to them and to the cause. Meanwhile, they've got tons that they're just banking on. The disregard is ridiculous, and our ego and our nature, it's in our nature to wrestle ourselves from this communist lifestyle. We are not that, and capitalism isn't necessarily the greatest thing, but it incredibly boosts creativity, it boosts the will, the American dream, it allows for liberty and personal freedoms. It is far superior to communism, and there's probably something else out there, another form of ism that's superior to all of that, but either way, the artwork needs to come back. I feel like people really need to get inspired again and show different things, like referring to communism as a monster, how it works by wrapping its tentacles around communism, burning your cornfields, burning your food supply, doing all these things we're really seeing happen now with this newest just sham fest that's happening throughout the entire world. Factories closed. We've seen that for a long time. Ever since Nixon and all those others started shipping our factory workers and other places to other countries for cheaper labor that was very anti-human, paying people very little for sweatshop activities while our people around here are losing their jobs, going on unemployment, getting depressed, taking drugs, doing all this stuff. When you think about it, it really seems like the red iceberg has, we've all hit it. They've infested everywhere. They used very dirty tactics to just put their people all over the place, slide them into government, slide them everywhere where they were threatened. And it's a really menacing thing. And to have stopped the art that does this is insane. Artists should keep up this stuff. And no matter who controls the art world, we have to fight back and think about these messages. And look at how similar this old revolution poster is to our last president. It's basically like they weren't even hiding it. They were basically referring to him as a communist through art, through the symbolism of art, and barely anyone picked up on it. And people still refuse to believe that he was anything but a hero, which he clearly was not. So do colleges have to hire red professors? Nope. But they do, except for places like Prager University and a few other great schools. All the Harvards, MITs, those guys, I think they came up with a stat that 98% of teachers were all socialist-based and communist. Communism and twisted education. In the eyes of communism, a child is simply something to be warped into one shape, godless. And this is so true, and this is a serious thing. This is a serious threat. This is Tibet. This is an artwork of China going into Tibet, supposedly liberating them. Nope. Never happened in a beautiful way. It was a terribly tragic way. Everything those communists do over there is really anti-human, anti-God, anti-spirit, anti-freedom. And, if drawing a picture and waking people up to that is necessary, then it is. If it used to be Russia, it still could be, who knows. But if Russia should win, we'd have a giant boot on us, weighing us down, and that's what we're seeing. It couldn't be more obvious that these people, the ones you see on TV, are spokespeople for this communist invasion that has happened over the course of a very, very long time. And it can happen here, and that's what we're seeing right now. This coronavirus started over there. Who's to say whether it's real and really doing everything or not? But the people in lockstep with the communist, pretty much World Health Organization, are initiating rules that are just shutting down our economy, shutting down our freedom, shutting down, making people lose their will, doing all this stuff. Whereas we come from a long tradition of people that fight for their liberty, and we have to continue that. Like, this problem did not go away because the political art and anti-communist art stopped. It actually got worse and worse, and it got more and more controlled. And that's probably why. They wanted the artists on their side. They knew artists are dangerous people. They wanted the artists on their side, even though their side is an anti-creativity side. And that's why you've seen some pretty bad art. Although there are some great artists that are around nowadays that are really inspired and using a lot of different things. A lot of the mainstream art that fetches millions and stuff now it's pretty trashy and pretty stupid and meaningless and useless. And this art, although it doesn't take too much time to draw a lot of these, some of them are very detailed. But this art is just simple, meaningful, to the point, and it really makes you think. It makes you really kind of form an opinion and realize the ways in which this stuff is affecting everyone's daily lives. And the point being that these leaders have just no respect for the common people. If 100 to 1,000 main people in China run the government that controls 1.3 billion people, tons of them locked up, a lot of different organ donation schemes happening, and just ridiculously amounts of work, sweatshop, all this stuff. And now China's economy, they're boasting about gold toilets and things like that, as our economy is just tanking. In our government and our news people and our Hollywood celebrities are just telling us to just keep letting it tank. Keep letting it disappear. Don't go back to work. There's too much danger because 90-year-old people are dying and all this stuff. It really is insane. And I think art is a good weapon to combat this stuff, because it wakes people up And although we have to fight the shadow banning war that's happening with the technocracies out there, there's still ways to get beyond it. And if I it blows my mind that capitalism, which you'll see in this picture, this is actually a great artwork. I kind of like this, although I do kind of embrace capitalism, trying to sell art and all this stuff. It's not my god. None of these things are. Money will never be, and it will never be my driving force either. But the capitalist people, it blows my mind that people like Bill Gates and all these millionaires around the world, these billionaires, Bezos, all these people, that they could want to hurt the common man when they had all that money. If you give me even a fraction of that money, I would be so nice, not only so nice to everyone and helping those that were in need, but I would do some very smart things with it. I would put up billboards. I would come up with artwork and put up billboards that informed the people everywhere, in every city, if I had the money. I would do so much. I would encourage artists to do so as well, and put just awakening billboards all over this country just to wake people up. But no one's doing that. I would form a media organization that was free and for the people, and nobody's doing that. I'd form a TV channel that actually had good programming, that wasn't actually programming the minds and wasn't mind controlled by these people, these spiders, and these venomous people that really don't have our best interest in mind. But yet these people are so rich, they're so uncannily rich, and they dedicate their time on earth to just destroying things and making people unhealthy, making people sad, making people depressed, doing everything to tear people apart. And it absolutely is astounding that they can get away with it karmically. I feel like if I even were to hurt a bird like this, I would probably have a tree fall on me like within 2 seconds and I'd be dead. Like if I do anything even slightly bad, I get karmically repercussioned immediately. But where's the karmic repercussion for these people that do these terrible things? And and give me any of this money, and I would go to every single beautiful place in this world. I would travel around and embrace nature, embrace the people. I would learn as much as possible, be so nice to people all around the world, really get a good grip on how awesome my fellow humans are throughout all the entire world, how amazing they are, and how much I could personally learn from them. Whereas these monsters just constantly are trying to use their money to destroy things. And I will never get the psychology of that. It's really disturbing. It's really sick. And these people need to pay for that, because it just isn't the way it should be. They should be tried if they are guilty of stuff against humanity, crimes against humanity, and their money should be divided amongst everyone. That is an easy solution, and I'm sure that lawyers targeting the right people could get a lot of these people in trouble for their crimes. Our information is not private, but apparently all of theirs is. And, we can't get this information that they have control over, because it would hurt their cause. And their cause is not the cause of we the people. Not at all. And so we do not want to live in a world under communism. Not in America, not anywhere. Nobody does, but a lot of those people in those countries are so afraid to speak out that they can't. Their government threatens them too much, to the point where their voice means nothing. And that's another time where art can really succeed. And this was anti-Thailand communist art, where they were showing different. You'll see a few of these clips that are like this, with a side-by-side comparison to, on the right, the way it should be, and on the left, education through communism, with worshiping the state as the god, and all these different things. There are so many ways to kind of illustrate this, through comic, through art, and through all these things. And we've been subliminally bombarded with ways of propping it. Hollywood is controlled by China. The NBA, a lot of sports are controlled by China. Music, I'm sure, is controlled by China. They love Lady Gaga and all these people, Madonna. They absolutely love them, and it's like, well, we don't. So take them, get them out of here. But the fact that it's godless, it really crushes the spirit. That's its goal. And if we can make art that brings the spirit back, and makes people really think and be proud of living and really embrace the miracle of life, then we need to do it. I am calling on all artists to help, videographers, every form of art that is possibly out there. It's time to no longer be silent. It's time to do what needs to be done. really think about the visions that you could possibly create, and let's start spreading them around. Let's start making people realize the threats that face us. We have to take this country back. We have to take this world back, we the people, because it belongs to us. It does not belong to people who have just stolen a bunch of money. And imagination is not for the weak, but they think it is. And a world without imagination is like in the Never-Ending Story with the nothing sweeping over us. Another thing, in the 80s they did try to actually warn us about this kind of stuff. Red Dawn, Never-Ending Story, a lot of different movies where the characters really save the world or their personal world from a threat that is just ever-present or world-ending. And that's why children of the 80s need to step it up again, because we need to create that peace. We need to create it genuinely, not some kind of fraudulent peace. And everything needs to be replaced. The celebrities, the people in government that have been there just pillaging us from the inside out, taking everything that they can, while initiating acts and executive orders that just punish us step by step, year by year, eviscerating the freedoms that we were born with, that our God granted to us, that our Creator blessed us with at the instant of our birth till the moment of our death, which hopefully will be past 100 years for all of us. We all deserve to live beautifully long lives. And look at this, farming, all these kind of things on the right in an anti-communist world, and then on the left, guns, people, soldiers everywhere, watching over everything you do, cameras, every single step of the way, listening to you, friends ratting you out. We're beginning to see that here, where people are locals and people that were friends are just ratting on people for not wearing masks, for going into a store, for walking down the street where they were told not to, or anything. It's like, how obvious really can it be? And this, every time you twist the nut, think of Hitler. Every time you do something, every time you buy a Made in America product, think of this. And it will make it worthwhile. Every time you do an artwork to try and wake people up, think of what's happening now. We don't want this to continue. We need to educate the future and the world, and we need to rally the world to join forces with everyone that plays a role in the changing of this place to something where certain countries are just corrupt beyond repair, to all countries being run by we the people, all sovereign nations experiencing their nationalistic beauty, and us all being able to go wherever we want and embrace that very nicely and kindly, and be friends with everyone. We are all friends. I did an artwork about that, and maybe I'll include it at the end. But you don't have to be a master artist. Some of these arts are really great, and a lot of people wrote books too about these different things, and that's happening now. We're seeing a lot of different books that are kind of calling this out, a lot of different YouTube videos. That's kind of the new art of the moment, and that's good too. Everything is good, but I would love to see billboards all around the country that really call out this thing. I mean, even though there's not many people on the roads, they will be soon, and that gives us a lot of time to create the artwork that could go into those places. And it's really just showing that we need to change it. These Hollywood celebrities are all quarantined, telling us what to do, and they're trying to be funny. They're all unscripted, and it's really pathetic. Behind the mask is very pathetic people. Of all these celebrities that get millions of views on YouTube, that are pushed all over the place on public TV and on cable TV, all these people that are glorified have bread behind them. And that's why they never insult or never say anything bad about China, but they will trash Trump in America all day long, all year long. It's because Trump doesn't pull their strings. We the people don't pull their strings. We know who does, the commies. And it's really, I look at it as being a very anti-creative force, pretty much a nothing that sweeps over. And so, they used to have advertisements. Sure, I want to fight communism, but how? Truth dollars, like people getting their word out there. There was all different kinds of ways that they were doing this. They were actively, as communities, doing this, and that's kind of what we need to do now. Instead of us all being forced to get biochips that tell whether we're vaccinated or not, I would like to know whether people are communists or not, whether people are traitors to America or not. I think that's more important and more dangerous and more virulent of a disease to really have spreading around, because we're seeing it in action, and our economy is crippled as a result of how cozy we became with all these people. Our last president, the Clintons, you name it, they've, since Truman and way before, they've all been pretty much just okay with this. Shipping our business over there, making it so that these people have everything we need, and when we need it, we have nothing. You know, Trump's thankfully tried to fight back and makes production happen again here, but it's I mean, hopefully it's not too late, but it hasn't been going for a long time. Every other president should have been doing this since the 40s, but they haven't, and there's a reason for that. And it's sad, but you know, what are we going to do? I guess we can create art. Not encouraging violence, never, but artwork can go a long way. It can wake people up, and that's what people need. People need an awakening. They need to realize that a God-filled society, spirit-filled society, is much superior to an anti-God, atheist, godless, just perversion of a life, without hope, without faith, without really anything. No divine force to keep you in check. That's why these people run rampant. And it's not, we can't tell our next generations that we let this happen. Oh, sorry, like that you're born in a cage. We can't let it happen. And the audacity of socialism is sweeping. And you know, they tried it. They tried it so much. And so here are a bunch of artworks that I've done over time. I don't like to spend too much time doing political art, but I honored each president, and this was when I actually thought Barack Obama was going to be a good unifying force. I quickly, within a month, learned that he wasn't. But also, if you look at the symbolism that I subconsciously placed in there, he's pointing at a spiral. The flag is split in half with a crescent moon over to the right. The Native Americans and faces in the ground are looking up at him, crying. You know, I liked him at the time I drew this, but my subconscious definitely knew better. And this was one that I did for the corona, which, who did this? WHO, nature is upset, Mars, god of war, is happy, the United Nations, the World Health Organization symbol, all a virus. Or not. You never really know. And this one's pretty cool with the guillotine, treason. When are these people, these CNNs, these Googles, these Facebooks, these Twitters, all these people are corrupt. And, you know, I don't want anyone to be unjustly treated, but I want people to be tried for what they are. If I can get tried for walking in the woods and spend some time in jail, then I think these people should be tried for what they do. And the social media plague, this was the social distancing first method, was creating Facebook. Who needs to go out and be close to their friends anymore when you can see it all on Facebook? And then I created this after I saw Zuckerberg speak in front of Congress once, and I completely got rid of Facebook. And so I was hoping more people would stick the fork in it and don't log in, but billions and billions of people still do, and they still control the information to a sad degree. And this was Soros. He's another beast, and this was hoping to stomp out Soros, SOS. This guy is just spreading another person who's using their money to destroy the world, and that can't happen anymore. This was during the 2016 debates, a little Mortal Kombat reference, while she's in her like little hijab over there or whatever she's in. Looks like she's pregnant, looks like she's a Pillsbury Doughgirl. And this was going into the last debate, and he did finish her, and he won, thank God. This was a spinning man doll I did, unifying everyone, because I saw the racism that just spawned up due to our last president, who was united, who basically got his votes because people wanted to be united. And then when this blends together, it forms a very unique color. So there's no black and white. We're all blended together. Every color is human, and that's all that matters. There's no separation. These people that try to divide us need to be divided from us and put away and tried for their crimes again. And boycott the media. I wish people would do that. The cure for America's fake news civil war. Turn off your cell phones, TVs, laziness. Think freely and respect all lives and nature. That's a perfect pill to basically heal the divide in America, because the fake news is appalling. Her war. She loved that her symbol, and I knew she was going to create war regardless. She's still probably behind this, and her people are still probably behind what's happening now, because she is owned by China. She basically wore Chinese clothes every single day she ever was in public. It's pretty pathetic and pretty obvious. And no more war. This was just an anti-war kind of message, and because I saw where things were going, there's a lot of interesting little symbols in that one. The UN was formed to be a good force, but it's clearly not. and what is this? Flush them down. All these Democrat things, flush them. NPR, I really hated NPR at this time. And the American worker and the people just need to flush it down, create something brand new in its place. Truth will always take a dump on the media, because the media, they can't get away with these lies for too long. And I hope in a couple weeks we realize that the last couple months have been just one monstrous, deceptive lie. Stop 5G. A lot of people are comparing coronavirus and saying that this is a way so that they can build 5G network everywhere, so people need the internet, people need faster internet, and they can just go and construct everything while we're in our homes. I hope that's not true, but it probably is. Either way, Netflix isn't as important as receiving radiation. Nobody wants it. Don't spray us. Nature, Earth, the toxic stuff that everyone sprays everywhere and then goes swimming, destroying coral, all these different things. It's like every single chemical, every single thing you have in your house can kill you. And that's another thing. These people have been invading us through products. All these things made in China can kill you. Like, they all have like different, like they're just different weapons. And we've been too nice. We've been way too nice. Protect America. The thin blue line right in the middle. And another way to protect America is to buy made in America stuff. It needs to happen. It needs to happen now more than ever. We need to support our country and bring it back. We the people are the only thing that can do this. The only force on the planet, 7 billion strong, and every one of us thinks alike, no matter what these fools on TV and everywhere tell us. We all want our freedom. We all want to live happy and peacefully. We all do not want to be controlled by an oppressor. And we need to stop it. And so this was created during the government shutdown of 2012 or something like that. And the message is just clear. All of these from the 40s, 30s, the message is still resounding today. We can't let up. As artists, we need to fight this the only way we know how, and come up with more and more creative ways to get the message across to the world, the people, that this type of anti-freedom mentality in government needs to stop, and it needs to, we need to restore freedom to everyone. So bless every last one of you out there, no matter what country you are from, no matter what you believe in, no matter what you think and whatever. I know you want freedom, I know you want to live peacefully, and that's what we all want too. So we need to join forces, and we need to show the world. And art also, besides being a weapon for kind of change and kind of jabbing people that need it, it can also be a way to uplift the spirits of everyone and unite everyone together in a peaceful way, and make people realize, wow, bring people to tears, and make people say, like, oh my God, human creativity is such a wonderful thing. This world is such a wonderful thing. It must be preserved at all costs for all future generations. We must do our part. No more sleeping. We're all in quarantine. There's plenty of time to do it. Everybody needs to get to work, and we need to fix this place. Bless you all. I know we can do it. Have a great one, everybody. Feel free to share and spread this.